finite magic. The unforgettable, the unrepeatable. And if Xbox can't seem to remember that, soon, this will not be the last round of layoffs. This is simply going to be the beginning. But then, what happens when the empire doesn't just forget the magic? What happens when it decides that certain types of magic shouldn't exist at all? You see, analysts, Steam just purged hundreds of games. Not because they were illegal or that gamers were complaining or revolting about it, but because Visa and Mastercard said so. And the beautiful thing about this is no headline, no scandal, no parliament, just quiet compliance with the faceless gods of finance. And we gamers barely even noticed. You see, this is the new face of censorship. I'm not talking about no dictator, no culture war, not even an overreaching or overbearing CEO. It's called payment processor, a trust and safety department embedded in the financial layer of the digital world, deciding what kinds of art are too uncomfortable to exist. Now, usually when these things start to happen, you need to start asking questions. The basic question that you need to ask is this the first time this is happening? Is there a trend? Has this happened before? So that we know whether or not it's a once-off thing or whether they're just following a pattern. Turns out, it didn't start with Steam. Steam is just what you'd consider the latest battlefield of this censorship machine. You see, back in 2021, OnlyFans almost collapsed when banks got spooked of allegations of underage content. Tumblr banned Korn after Apple threatened to pull them from the App Store. And Patreon quietly tightened its terms. And get this, the Japanese banks are outright blocking payouts for adult game devs. I'm talking not just censoring content, but blocking payouts. That's crazy. So no, man, this is not an isolated event. Not at all. If it's not isolated, then it must be coordinated, right? And if it's coordinated, then who the hell is behind it all? You see, analysts, if you've been following this channel for quite some time, then you probably already know what the game plan is right now. I mean, we talked about DEI, we talked about ESG, we traced how wokeness became a corporate mask and how virtue turned into policy. But what's happening now ain't the rainbow flag era of culture wars. We're stepping into new waters now. We are looking at the clean-suited, spreadsheet-polished version right now, where culture is no longer censored by outrage, but choked by compliance. It's basically what happens when moral judgment becomes the payment standard, and Steam just obeys. Because what else are they going to do? If they don't comply, then they lose access to the very systems that make them profitable in the first place. I mean, banks don't need to ban you. They just stop routing your payments. You see, James Burnham warned us back in the Managerial Revolution that power wouldn't look like kings or mobs. It would look like process, neutral, bureaucratic, unaccountable, faceless. And I think that's what's actually happening here. This isn't censorship with a face. It's just policy, but without an origin. And it's not that Valve doesn't want to just sell these games. It's that the infrastructure of commerce itself is slowly morphing into a morality filter system. And they started with porn games because they know that, I mean, let's be serious, guys. Nobody's going to defend them. They're an easy target. The content is strange, ugly, even disturbing. But that's just always how this stuff actually starts. First, you burn the books that nobody reads, then silence voices that nobody wants to listen to, and then finally, you normalize the machine that did the silencing. This is no longer a glitch in the system. This is the system. Culture is being sterilized by design, by people you'll never even see or know about, through systems and mechanisms that you never even voted on. You've already seen it in how they're going about this Stop Killing Games campaign. How Ubisoft just simply gets to arbitrarily decide that you no longer get to own this game, even though you paid for it. How they just be pulling support for games, like EA just pulled support for Anthem, of course. The fact that digital purchases, they're games that you essentially don't own, and these companies can simply take them back or stop support altogether whenever they feel like it. You never voted on this stuff, and to make matters worse, it's legal when it should be illegal. And what's actually even most terrifying is that in the future, it won't just be what has been removed, but what never even got created because of this. The unmade art, the unfunded experiment, the story that never gets told because it won't pass compliance. I mean, what happens to gaming or art or human imagination when everything has to be processed through invisible financial checkpoints? I mean, it just gets you wondering, what is the point of a rating system to begin with? Isn't the entire point to separate content that's okay for kids and content that's not okay for kids? So then why are you policing what matured audiences choose to indulge in maturely? And this isn't even about Steam anymore. Believe it or not, the next platform's already lining up. Patreon, YouTube, Substack, Ko-Fi, itch.io. If they don't pass the card network's purity test, they simply don't get to exist. So here's what I want to say directly to you, the audience that's walked with me through Ortega, through Burnham, through Postman, through Hananea. You've seen power mutate from mass obedience to managerial drift, to performative virtue, to entertainment-driven erosion. And this is the next phase. The fight has evolved. It's moved. It has left behind the culture war and re-emerged in infrastructure. And I need you to understand that you're not choosing content anymore. You're being given a pre-selected, pre-approved menu by invisible auditors. Wokeness was fireworks. Compliance is structure. And it's working efficiently, quietly, and without any resistance. It's damn genius if you think of it. Because when your favorite dev gets blocked from payout, or say your favorite game never makes it through review, or maybe let's say your favorite creator, YouTube creator, just stops posting content altogether, you won't even know why. That is basically the power that we're dealing with now. A power that doesn't waste time arguing with you. It just denies. Now we can talk about financial sabotage salad all day. As much as I enjoy it, what I'm really interested in is the question that I posed earlier on. I want to know, why now? Why do the banks